It's cheesy, it's memorable, okay? And it does something to the relationship there.
Originating from deep inside the Rocky Mountains, transported through the power of the internet, and arriving inside your tiny earbuds. It's the Appraiser Coach podcast, helping appraisers increase their efficiency, quality, and make more money. Here's the guy who makes it his life's mission to create value for real estate appraisers nationwide. Your host and the Appraiser Coach, Dustin Harris.
Welcome back to the program. Dustin Harris hanging out in the podcast chair, sponsored today by Synapse. Synapse is your ability to justify those adjustments that you're making in your reports. Synapse for appraisers.com and Working RE magazine. Working RE is where I go to find out what's going on in the world of appraisal. WorkingRE.com. All right, folks, 15 years. Can you believe that? I've been in business as the appraiser coach for 15 years, since 2010. And in the very beginning, within the first couple of years, I did what was called the Go Create Some Value workshop, where I traveled the nation. When I say traveled the nation, I mean we weren't jet setting. We did 4 cities, Salt Lake, we went to Vegas, we went to Dallas, and we ended in Washington, D.C., just outside Washington, D.C., in Virginia. And recorded the one, by the way, in Virginia. You can still purchase that workshop. And if you think it's outdated, business principles and how to set up and streamline your appraisal business so that you can work less and make more money, those things never go out of style. Now, there's a few things that could probably be updated after 15 years. No AI in there at all, right? But one of the things that I talked about in the Go Create Some Value workshop was the point that I make of giving out a jar of jam. I should have brought one. It's out in my car. A little jar of jam. We're talking 2.5 ounce jar of jam at my appraisal inspections. That means I leave it on the count. If it's a vacant house, someone's going to pick that up. I don't care. Vacant house, doesn't matter. I might be doing an appraisal for a lender and I'm there with the homeowner. I'm going to leave him a jar of jam. I might be there if the realtor shows up and I'm there with both the realtor and the homeowner. I'm going to give out 2. I know, big expense, right? 2 jars of jam. Speaking of expense, folks, these are not expensive. When you buy them in bulk, they're like $3 a pop, right? I mean, when you're doing 2-3 inspections a day, okay, that could buy a Big Mac. I don't know. The bottom line is, folks, the cost doesn't matter to me. Now, granted, I'm not going to hand out steak dinners. Okay. So cost is a factor, but it's more about what it represents. If you've not seen the Go Create Some Value workshop, let me just explain briefly why I do the jar of jam. On the offset, you might just say, well, that's a kind thing to do. Okay. But this is about the law of reciprocality. The law of reciprocality. Is that a word? I'm going to say it's a word. We're going to go with it. The law of when you give, people want to give in return. I do not have anecdotal, or I do not have statistical proof for what I'm about to say, but I do have lots of anecdotal evidence, okay, that the complaints about low appraisals and this, that, and the other, you use the wrong comps, the adjustments are crap, and all of this, folks, those dropped off the cliff when I started giving out a bottle of jam. I kid you not, okay, it's a $3. Now, trust me, folks, stick with me. It's not the only reason I give out the jam. We're going to get to other reasons as well. But one of the benefits of giving out a little jar of jam or some other gift is that people are less inclined to complain. They see you're a nice guy, you're a nice gal, you're a good person, you're trying to do good, okay? They see that, and I think, personally, anecdotally, I think it makes a difference on the amount of complaints that we receive. I know mine dropped after I started doing that. And I have done that consistently I've been doing it for 16, 17, 18 years before I was the appraiser coach. And it worked so well that I continued to do so. Now, there's other benefits as well. Okay. I think it's just good business sense. I think it's just good to be different than the rest. That's another reason for doing it. You're creative, you're different, you stand out amongst the crowd. And I think that's important. I think it's important because there's so many others out there, right? You need to be different. You've heard me say this before. Be known as the expert. Those are the first two and only rules of marketing. Be known as the expert. If you can be known, if people understand you, they think of you when they think appraisal. When they think valuation, they think of you and your company. You've accomplished the first one. The second one, be known as the expert, is that not only do they know your name, but they respect you. Now, how do you get there? There's many, many different routes, but one of the ones that I have taken over the years is giving out a jar of jam. I'm going to tell you a couple other reasons I do it, but first I want to pause and remind you that we're sponsored by a couple of great companies. One of them is a company that's been a sponsor from the beginning, Working RE Magazine. Working RE, folks, is the one that I go to find out what's going on in the appraisal world. It is free to sign up, and you will not regret it. You will not say to me, Dustin, I signed up and all I got was spam. Trust me, they don't resell your stuff, right? There's going to be some advertisements that come. That's how they stay in business. Remember, it's free, okay? They got to make their money somewhere. But you can archive those if you're not interested. Trust me, folks, the amount of good information that comes through Working RE and their free newsletter is absolutely worth it. Go to workingre.com, wait a couple seconds, their pop-up box, I know, annoying pop-up boxes, they'll come up, put your address in there, hit enter, you won't regret it. Workingre.com. Synapse, folks. We are, as appraisers, always looking to support our adjustments, and we should be, right? We can't just be licking our fingers, sticking it in the air. How would you like to have a foolproof way to not only support the adjustments that you're making, but to discover what adjustments you should be making? That's what Synapse will do for you, and it will do so at a cost that is not even worth mentioning. It's so little. Synapse for appraisers.com. Synapse for appraisers.com. All right, folks, welcome back to the program. Talking today about giving out jam. And by the way, it's not just jam. Here's the other little tidbit that I will share with you, okay? Down the creative side, okay, to make it one step, it's not strawberry jam, it's not peach jam, it's not grape jam. We're talking about, is there any such thing as grape jam? What's the difference between jam and jelly? One has seeds and one does. I have honestly no idea. Nonetheless, I don't even know if I give out jam or jelly. It doesn't matter. But it's huckleberry jam, folks. Now, some of you don't even know what that is. But trust me, in Idaho and Wyoming, where I work, it's a big deal. Huckleberries are a big deal. And when you can give out huckleberry jam, it's different than giving out any other type of jam. So it's unique, it's creative, it's a pleasant surprise. People like it, okay? And one step further, I also just bumped this up a notch, okay? I also give out a little pamphlet that I shared with the Go Create Some Value workshop that basically, I think that the title is, Hope We Did Not Jam Up Your Day Today, okay? Did you catch the pun, right? And then we go through and talk about it can be a real sticky situation to have an appraiser come in your home, right? You follow me here, right? And at the end, thank you for being so sweet and allowing us to come in, right? I know it's cheesy, but I think that's the point. It's cheesy, it's memorable, okay? And it does something to the relationship there. I can't tell you how many times I've gone back to an appointment years after I've done an appraisal. So maybe I did a refinance, and then years later they're selling the home, and they meet me there again and they say, "Hey, aren't you the guy that gave me jam?" I kid you not, folks. They remember years later, and that's kind of the point. Folks, what are you doing to be a step ahead of your competition? What are you doing to be known and be known as the expert? Do you care about being known and being known as the expert. I promise you that if you care even that much, it's that much more than your competition cares. By the way, folks, if you are interested in that Go Create Some Value workshop, again, still relevant, still on sale, still on my website, theappraisercoach.com. Go to the products, scroll down, you'll find it. Go create some value.
You've been listening to the Appraiser Coach podcast with Dustin Harris. If you like what you hear, please give us a 5-star rating and post a short review on iTunes. For more in-depth insider information on how you can make more money as a real estate appraiser, visit TheAppraiserCoach.com and sign up for the All-Star team today. Thanks for joining us. And now, get out there and create some value.